And we're done with weather and news, but we aren't done by a long shot because it is Hardcore Football Friday. Hello, Howard.
Yeah, that's right. High school football kind of started last night, but tonight it got hardcore. So you excited, Laura?
I am.
Well, I'm excited too, so let's get to it. Hardcore football starts right now.
Fox Toledo Hardcore Football is brought to you by Central Catholic High School. Now, here's all of tonight's action.
Hello and welcome to another year of Hardcore Football. I'm Howard Chen and I'm here to take you through a full night of highlights. We have scores down below in the ticker, and you can also keep track online on Facebook, Twitter, and G+. But first we hit up our Jim White Honda Game of the Week. This week's all about Southview and St. Francis. 2 years ago, the Knights upset the defending state champ Cougars. Last season, Southview staged a comeback, and it was sweet revenge. This year, whose turn would it be? Big things expected from both clubs. St. Francis, very excited to get the season going, and you know Southview head coach Jim Mazies, he's always excited for some football. Defense dominating the first half. Southview's Jalen Marble. Ball comes out like a marble, gets stripped, Knights recover. Jared Jefferson with the ball, and then on offense, Jared Jefferson with the ball again. How about that karma? 7-0 Knights on a 12-yard score. Knight fans very pleased. 7-3 they led at the half. Fourth quarter, Cougars on a long drive, 12-play, 78-yard drive, but it gets stopped right here. Austin Valdez, the quarterback, he was on his way to the end zone, stripped at the 4. Knights recover, but the Knights give it right back. So opportunity knocking on the door again for Southview, and this time they punch it in. Jay Fisher from a yard out, 9-7. Cougars lead after a punt was blocked. Southview scores again. Fisher makes it 16-7. St. Francis would cut the lead to 2 points, 16-14, but then Marble makes up for earlier. 54-yard run, 23-14 with $1:15 left. St. Francis trying to come back. Andy Minor to Andrew Marinelli. Knights within 2 points again. They need this onside kick, and they don't get it. So the Cougars, they hold on for the victory, 23-21.
They have tough kids all over the place. They battled their butt off. And we thought we'd, throw the ball around a lot, but they stayed back and forced us to run the ball and tested our toughness, and the Cougars showed up. So I'm so proud of our kids.
It's a big win. I could consider us rivals now, and to beat them is a great start to the season and a great momentum booster for the whole team.
How big a momentum swing was that fumble down there? You guys got the fumble and turned it right back over.
Yeah, absolutely. That was huge. It was the game right there. I mean, give it right back to them at that end. That hurt. Because we really felt, our offensive line really felt that they were going to come out and set the tone, and then give it right back to them. So it was tough on our defense.
And that was a good game for this week. Next week, as Captain Planet would say, the power is yours. Your choice. One of these 4 games will be the next featured game. Deadline to votes Tuesday night. You can do so by clicking on foxtoledo.com and checking out our sports link. Okay, out in Perrysburg, Jackets are expected to contend with Southview for NLL bragging rights, but first they have to get past Bowser. TJ Fatinikin, former Yellow Jacket, now with UT in the house. Perrysburg looking good early. The new quarterback, Steve Slocum, takes it in from 6 yards away for 6. Extra point was blocked, so it's 6-0. Jacket fans still happy, though. Next series for Peteburg. Slocum showing his arm to Austin Bishop. 29 yards. Jackets, they led 14-0, and they roll 54-14. How about 2 former NLL rivals? Bowling Green still in the league. Rossford moved on to the Northern Buckeye Conference this year. The kickoff after a Rossford score, Derek Schrader. He's going to weave through the middle of the field, get through a couple of arm tackles, and all of a sudden technology makes him faster. 85 yards later, that's a touchdown, 22-6 BG with a minute left in the half. Coach Todd Drewsback of Rossford not happy, but they would respond to Drewsback. Driving down the field, Rossford, 18 seconds left. Devin Fryman to Nick Vitra, 22-12 at the half. Much better, much happier. Second half, all Bobcats. Andrew Dennis, 33 yards. The Brad fight. BG wins it, 36-12, 32 losses in a row for Rossford. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because A ton of football still coming up, including arguably the team with the most expectations. How would Whitmer get out of the gates? Find out next when Hardcore Football continues.
Now back to Fox Toledo Hardcore Football.
Dane Sanzenbacher from Chicago Bears practice. You're watching Hardcore Football.
And that was Dane in the Chicago area just a few days ago at Bears headquarters. We'll have more on him later, but first to his alma mater. Central Catholic's been working on including some new wrinkles to their offense. Greg Dempsey's staff has been working closely with the University of Toledo's. Tonight, the unveiling. Always good to further prepare the high schoolers for the next level tonight against Detroit-based Crockett and their quarterback Brian Blackburn, future Toledo Rocket. Down 7-0. First play, second possession. Derek Whelan cuts back to the inside and he sees over 70 yards of daylight. And just like that, ball game tied at 7. Central's new spread a look. Well, it looked good. Deshaun Kaiser, sophomore quarterback to Keith Tobridge, 19 yards for the big fella for the first down. But Central loses its opener to Mr. Blackburn, who had 3 TD passes. Final score, 25-20. Next up, Maumee, and one of Northwest Ohio's most dangerous quarterbacks, Jake Schneider. Oh, he's back. Maumee up 16-0. Wait, though, they just drove right down the field, ran it down their throats. Devontae Hughes from 9 yards away plunges in, 16-6. Two-point conversion was no good. Maumee answered immediately. Schneider, 45 yards to Dakota Windnagel. No relation to Dakota Fanning, no relation to Brad Fanning. Maumee up 23-6 in the third. Start of the fourth. Third play of the quarter after some chest love, chest bumping. Schneider to Sean McGovern. Check this out. Sidesteps the would-be tackler, 14 yards, and he's in the end zone too, 30-6. Let's check the final score. Panthers got the job done, 37-14. Well, in this new season of Hardcore Football, we're looking for some hardcore pictures of the atmosphere that makes Friday nights so beautiful. We're starting up a gallery on foxtoledo.com. Check it out, be a part of it, give yourself some exposure in more ways than one. Just send those pictures in to reportit@foxtoledo.com or share it with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, or Google+ me. Oh, by a single vote, Whitmer was chosen the favorite to win the track. The new league formed with TPS's decision to cut back on sports. Some schools were left behind with the decision in the City League. One of those was Star, probably a key contender this year in the city, but Whitmer, Leroy Alexander on the sidelines. Alexander would see some action tonight as he awaits more word about his eligibility. Coach Joe Palka's son Tyler, the new quarterback, to Alonzo Lucas. He goes by Texas. There to the 10-yard line, and Kenny Hayes in the house, current-day Buckeye. He was with Whitmer last year. Touchdown for Jody Webb. He's getting recruited by a bunch of schools. Lots of guys getting recruited off this team. Next play, it's Webb. Actually, was stopped on the previous play. He got stopped again by Terrell Jones. But the third time is the charm. Yes, that's a score. Chris Wormley. Yeah, he's looking for a smile because guess what? His team, they win 42-6. A crushing. Well, Stark got beat. Howard, another city contender, pulled up. Rogers hosting Anthony Wayne. Randall Bart's the new head coach, taking over for Rick Rios. Quarterback DJ Tucker, he looked good in the preseason, but his pass there intercepted by Josh Schrerer. Schrerer, try to say that 10 times fast, taken down to the 5-yard line, and then that would set up this. Zach Grahowski puts it in for 6. Anthony Wayne. They get the job done today as Tucker gets picked off again, this time by Rashawn Mitchell. This one goes for 103 yards back the other way, 41-22. A. Wayne beats Rogers. Out in Sylvania, Northview going against Clay. And Merrick Moldowski making his coaching debut. His team down 5 late in the fourth. 4th and goal at the 2. Brandon Hall, he keeps it, but he gets stopped. Turnover on downs. Northview gets the ball back. 4th and 14 with 1:20 to play. And Hall looking to Drew Gross. Look at that catch off his fingertips. Nice. Clock ticking. Under 30 seconds remaining. Hall sacked by Jared Gray. Huge play by Gray. So, last play of the game. Northview going for the win. Anthony Ramirez. Defensive stop knocks it down, and Clay hangs on for a 20-15 win. More high school games coming up, but first, hear what Dane Sanzenbacher has to say about Terrell Pryor's pro chances. To QB or not to QB? That's the question. We'll have the answer after the break.
I think he's got to be a quarterback. I think, you know, he's a great athlete. That's the position he's been playing. And I don't see any reason why he couldn't do it at the next level. I think he's got all the skills to do it. If he finds the right place, gets in the right situation, and can get his mind wrapped around all the mental part of it and handle that, I think he'll do fine.
Terrell Pryor was picked this week by the Raiders in the supplemental draft, but he has his share of critics. Several around the league have said the former Buckeye's future may be better suited at another position like wide receiver or tight end. Even Pryor has said he's willing to change if need be. But when we spoke to Sansenbacher in Chicago on Wednesday, it was clear the Buckeye MVP thinks Pryor's a QB through and through. The Buckeyes will be hosting Toledo on September 10th, and Fox Toledo wants to treat you to a day of football fun at the Shoe. Contest to win a pair of tickets to the game just started yesterday. Be sure to check it out on our contest link at foxtoledo.com. Well, there's the saying, it takes two to make a thing go right. St. Francis doesn't just have one Stanley, they have two, and both are getting major looks from MAC schools and more. Here's this week's Hardcore Recruiting Minute, focusing on the Stanley twins, Cam and Hunter. It's not easy figuring out which Stanley's which.
You know, even my dad mixes us up sometimes, so. Coaches, they spend a lot of time with us, though. Especially with our helmets on, they can't really tell who's who. They just say Stanley. Hope they get it right, you know?
Both Stanleys play on the offensive line. Cam's the tackle. Hunter plays inside.
They're just huge. They're big guys. You know, that helps. But this offseason, they've really committed to being football players.
He's a little more athletic than me, but I'm a little more powerful. So, you know, that makes a difference actually on the coaches, you know, and the schools and stuff. Plus, he's a little taller, so it makes a difference.
And most likely, they'll be headed to different schools. Army and Air Force lead for Hunter. Cam likes the coaches at Toledo, Bowling Green, and Louisville.
It'd be nice if we were together, but I'm going to go where I want to go, and he's going to go where he wants to go. Like, we're not going to stop each other from going where we want to go to college.
Probably different decisions, but at about the same time, at probably the end of the year. Lake High School has kind of been through a lot. Not every team has to practice with a tornado-destroyed school in the backdrop, but that's what the Flyers had to do last year. But just like another Flyer, the Phoenix, the school's risen from the ashes. They have a new field, and starting tonight, a brand new season 2. First up for Coach Bob Abbey is Swanton. Second quarter, Tim Lohman breaks a tackle. And yes, he is gone. 52 yards for the score. Flyers up 29-0 in the third. Ben Schwartz, check out this play by Schwartz, He absolutely nails Casey McGaw, knocks the ball loose, no surprise, fumble. Lake recovers. That leads to Nate Pennington on the very long QB keeper. 63 yards for the score. Lake wins, blowout fashion, nice, 46-0. Well, to the nearby powerhouse called Genoa, yeah, they're pretty good. And the Genoa Comets, they were pumped up and excited to start the year. First quarter, Tyler Picard, he takes it in from 5 yards away, out 7-0 Genoa. Later on, Josh Breyer goes up top. Andrew Nutter comes down with it. 37-yard score, 14-0 Genoa. Still in the first quarter, third and long. Brandon Roberts, he goes longer than that. He had 2 carries, 110 yards on the day. This one over 50 yards. This is great yards per carry average for the score. He had 2 scores. Genoa wins 45-14. We have more good teams coming up because that's one way to describe Patrick Henry. But could Bill Inselman's crew get by another traditional power in Eastwood? Come back after the break and find out.
Now back to Fox Toledo Hardcore Football.
When you think Northwest Ohio football tradition, you have to think of Patrick Henry. Over the last 5 years, the Patriots have averaged over 10 wins and fewer than 2 losses. Their winning percentage over that time is better than the NFL's Patriots from New England. But instead of Bill Belichick, Patrick Henry has their own Bill Inselman, PH, going against Eastwood to start out the season. Start of the third quarter, Patriots down 13-6. Calvin Palmer with a 3-yard TD run, and it's all tied up at 13. 7 minutes left in the quarter. Patrick Henry again. This time it's Lucas Rosebrook. Takes it in from 2 yards away. 20-13. P to the H in the lead. Eastwood fighting back. 2 minutes left in the quarter. Jake Schmeltz to Isaiah Conkle back in the end zone. That ties it at 20, and Eastwood hangs on. Huge win over Patrick Henry, 37-34. Okay, Tiffin Columbian, they're also full of tradition. Tornadoes are hoping to touch down with some touchdowns against Clyde. And for the Tornadoes, Ryan Lynch escaping a tackler in the backfield and escaping more tacklers, tumbles in the end zone, 26-0, Tiffin Columbian. How about some Clyde action? Brad Smith trying to put the Flyers on the board. They're looking for a big play. The pitch goes to Smith. He goes outside, breaking some arm tackles and cutting back inside. This would go for 50 yards. Clyde would get on the board, but Tiffin Columbian goes on to get the win, 26-13. Out in Springfield, another year, another season opener against Oak Harbor's fourth straight time the two started up against each other. Oak Harbor QB Brian Mallory gets intercepted by Marquand Hodges. This was set up Springfield and Jared Williams to take it all the way. Check out the moves, huh? It's like a video game. 7-0 Blue Devils. Now on the next play, Oak Harbor, Mark Konitsny, he gets stuffed, but he would break free. Konitsny. Check this out. Nice play. Oak Harbor gets the win, 23-10. Remember to vote Jim White Honda Game of the Week. That's your first edition Hardcore Football. Have a good night, everybody.